Yo, what's going on guys, it's Cynical and welcome back to another video. Today for you guys, we're going to be taking a look at an extremely cool Kingdom Hearts 3 visual overhaul mod known as Project Darkling, created by Nokuto. Do keep in mind that unlike Kingdom Hearts Light vs Darkness, this is just strictly a visual overhaul mod and doesn't affect anything towards the actual gameplay of things. The idea of this mod was to be a companion for Kingdom Hearts Light vs Darkness, so you can mix and match having the gameplay changes of Light vs Darkness edition, as well as having all of the really neat visual changes that this mod here introduces, both installed at the same time. The mod has been in development since February of this year, so obviously a lot of time and effort has gone into it. Nokuto was inspired through the Darkling Heartless enemy from Kingdom Hearts Union Cross as well as Anti-Aqua to create a visual overhaul that is definitely darkness orientated. This mod introduces a whole slew of new things, including changes to the main characters, custom weapons, new effects for form changes, an overhaul to the UI, and a lot more. So without further ado, let's just dive in. First things first, the main menu screen has been changed to anti-versions of both Kairi and Sora, with the Project Darkling logo replacing the traditional KH3 logo. The loading screen has also been changed up. Kingstagram has been swapped out with an image of Anti-Sora and Kairi hugging. We've got the Project Darkling logo, and you'll also notice down by the loading bar, it says Dark Times Ahead. Now the first thing you'll probably take notice of is the changed up user interface. It's all been completely changed. Looking at the command menu, instead of the traditional basic command menu blue, we now have a grey going on, with links now being changed to EX Arts. The look of the health and MP bars have all been changed in colour. HP bars are now red, MP bars are now purple, and we've got a nice looking purple pinky type color going on for focus. When I mean that basically all of the UI has been overhauled, yeah, pretty much the entirety of the UI has been overhauled. The lock-on reticle is now purple, as well as enemy HP bars now being displayed in red. Accumulated XP numbers have also been changed to red as well. When the triangle prompt pops up for the UI, it's now been changed to red from green, and you'll also notice the general interact information on the command menu, that color has been changed from green to purple. You'll notice overall, purple is a prominent color here for this overhaul, as I guess that is the color that represents darkness throughout Kingdom Hearts. It got me thinking that if we ever had like a villain-orientated Kingdom Hearts game where you actually get to play as one of the villains, so long as they still carry the themes of darkness, I'm sure this is the type of UI we'd probably come to expect. A lot of the text and icons has also been changed to purple as well, and one little small detail that I really appreciated that has been changed is the select cursor. Usually of course it's a Mickey Mouse glove, but now it's been changed to one of the Darkling hands. And also, of course, the camp menu has received these changes too, with even the little floating sort of glowing orb that is over your selected option in the camp menu, and for any other menus that uses the little glowing orb, that has been changed from orange to purple. And yeah, even looking at the XP bar, that's generally like an orange bar to indicate how much XP you are through your current level. That's now purple too. I love all of these minuscule minor changes to the UI. It's fantastic. The names of the magics have all been changed to correspond to that of different summon abilities from Final Fantasy. There's a bit of a Final Fantasy theme that's going on in this mod for when we look at all of the changes to the weapons that have been changed to mostly Final Fantasy weapons. We'll get to that soon, but the actual magics haven't been changed in the ways of how they work, and all of the effects have pretty much remained the same, though I am pretty sure the color of Thunder has been slightly altered to that of a purple color. But this is kind of neat. Otherwise, yeah, magic is pretty much remained the same, and like I said, links have been changed to EX Arts, but links all work the exact same. Now obviously the character models have taken a really big change up right here, and they are all trying to encapsulate the Anti-Aqua type design or Darkling design that we saw from Union Cross. Basically, this envisions if the characters all had pretty much fallen into darkness in similar fashion to Aqua in the Realm of Darkness, And the result here is really, really cool. Yeah, this takes effect for all of the Guardians of Light. So basically their outfits have all been changed to black, purple, with the white hair as well, for the Guardians that have hair, so obviously not including Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. Sora's the only one that's received the amber color eyes here, otherwise all of the characters are using a similar color palette to the eyes seen on young Xehanort and Ericus, as explained by Nokuto on the mod information. When looking at Xion, Roxas, and Axel, their attire is slightly different here compared to the rest of the gangs. This is obviously the coat from Dream Drop Distance, the boss known as Anti-Black Coat. Nokuto mentioned that they were able to take the texture from Dream Drop Distance and then apply it into Photoshop, being able to then transfer it into Kingdom Hearts 3 and apply it to Xion, Roxas, and Axel's coat. The result here is really cool to see it in such high quality. I've always liked the anti-black coat. The colors look really, really cool against the organization coat and stand out a lot, and I think it works really well here for the theme that this mod is trying to go for. But all around, it's really cool to envision these characters in the sort of darkness sense of as if they have also fallen to darkness as well, seeing them all with the silver hair, and especially the red hands. This is a key feature of course, the Darklings. They all have these really weird looking red hands, and we saw Aqua basically with the exact same. This is evidence of that person pretty much falling into complete darkness, and obviously not so much Xehanort possession, as we found out in Kingdom Hearts 3. The Darkling inspired changes have also been applied to the form-specific outfits for Sora, Donald, and Goofy, aside from the Caribbean. Even when we look towards Big Hero 6, Sora's visor has been changed to a completely new one, and I think this is actually my favorite of the changes out of the world-specific outfits. This thing is really cool. Almost all of the icons and names for accessories and equipment in the game have been changed to that of equipment and stuff from Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is absolutely cool and is totally not necessary whatsoever. Again, this is just primarily a visual thing, but I think it's these minor little details in the sense of changes that are just so neat to see, especially if you have played 7 Remake, you're going to be able to identify pretty much all of these. Looking at items like potions and ethers, these have been unchanged, but for Refocuser, High Refocuser, Panacea as well as Elixir, these have been changed to Final Fantasy VII Remake items. Nokuto even went to the trouble of changing some of the key items, which is crazy because like you never see these unless you're like actually in the menu to see these items. So for instance, like the VIP Moogle card has now been changed to the Moogle membership card you get in 7 Remake, as well as all of the Link Summon items being changed to that of Materia, which is a very nice touch. When fighting Anti-Aqua, you'll probably notice that her voice has been changed to sound more like, yeah, she really has fallen to the clasps of darkness. And that change has been applied to the mod so that the same applies for Sora, Donald, and Goofy. Now for their battle quotes, they will sound like they literally are possessed by darkness.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, see ya. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The biggest change for this mod though isn't so much the UI as well as the character models, but is more so to do with the weapons, form changes, and effects. So when looking at the weapons, all of the Keyblades as well as Donald and Goofy's weapons have been changed to that of Final Fantasy weapons, weapons from Final Fantasy VII Remake, Dissidia Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy 15. Even all of the weapon descriptions have been changed too. looking at the form changes for all of these new weapons, they have been changed, from the name to the effects that do follow, and even the weapon that Sora will be using while in that form change. The actual forms still have the exact same gameplay, so it's not like we're getting custom animations in here or brand new combo modifiers or anything. Nokuto did mention that they wanted to leave space for if people wanted to integrate some gameplay mods into here for like custom combos or new animations, that people could do that. So simply put, all this changes is the names of the forms, the weapon model that Sora will be using while in these forms, as well as all of the effects that follow. And the effects are sort of like the icing on the cake. This really harnesses that fact that Sora is possessed by darkness, as all of these cool particle effects for every time you attack have been changed to be more in line with the particle effects that you see from different organization members, being more darkness oriented. these are all really cool, and goes even as far as to change Sora's double flight effect. We even have a change to shot lock, so now instead of that orangey filter that will appear over the screen when targeting enemies, it's now purple. When Sora's using flow motion or air step, instead of the blue flow motion particles, we now have Xemnas' Twilight Thorns. And a brand new effect has also been applied for when Sora is free falling or is grinding on a rail. So that right there, guys, is Project Darkling, an absolutely awesome visual overhaul for Kingdom Hearts 3 for if you're looking to, I guess, darkness consume your version of the game. Again, as I was explaining, this mod was intended to go alongside of Kingdom Hearts Light vs. Darkness Edition, so if you guys are looking for a gameplay overhaul on top of what is already a really cool visual overhaul from what Light vs. Darkness introduces for the worlds of the game, but you want some more personalization towards that darkness thing for Sora and his arsenal, then these are two mods that work perfectly together. As always, the download link is in the description down below if this interests you guys. A massive shout out to Nokuto as well as everyone else who helped out for Project Darkling. It's really cool to see that as time goes on, we're getting more and more of these overhaul mods for KH3 to really change the entire experience of the game. It's really neat and something that I wasn't really totally expecting when looking at Kingdom Hearts 3 mods. However guys, that's all for today. Leave your thoughts and opinions as always in the comment section down below. I'm Cynical, hopefully having a good one, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.